Hey folks, and welcome to another episode of 8 News Real Talk. I'm your host, Tannock, Blair, and with me as always is my co-host, Julia Broberg.
Hello.
But not only Julia, we have one guest after another on the show today. Because we have Brian Fritz in the chair.
What's up, guys?
Welcome to the show, Brian.
Hello, friends. Thanks for having me.
Today, we've just got one movie, and you only need one movie when it's as big as this one is. Perhaps the movie of the year already. We're here to discuss One Battle After Another, the latest film from writer, director, auteur Paul Thomas Anderson. And it's a dark comedy, action thriller, neo-western, sort of a riff on Liam Neeson's Taken franchise in a way.
Sure, yeah. That's one way to put it.
A political satire. It's many, many things. But what did we all think of? I guess we'll start with our guest, Brian. What did you think of One Battle After Another?
That's a difficult question because I loved it so much. I think, it changes the way I look at Paul Thomas Anderson's filmography for sure.
Definitely.
It changes probably in my top three. I think it's, like you said, probably the movie of the year. It's going to get 5 to 10 Oscar nominations. I think the performances are incredible. I think the way that they marketed this movie was a little different. We didn't really know what we were going to get. There was some 6 months ago, stories from set were not that great. The trailer was a little confusing. The second trailer really didn't reflect the movie that we saw. But I was blown away.
Yeah.
This movie is relentless. It is a great title because it's just one battle after another. It's nonstop.
Which is impressive considering it's a 3-hour runtime, just about.
Absolutely.
Putting you on the spot here, we usually do a star rating. Out of 5 stars, what would you rate it?
Well, I've only seen it the once. And I couldn't find a flaw while I was watching it. So I'm reluctant to give it 5 stars. I'm going to give it 4.5.
Okay. All right. Julia?
I feel the exact same way. Everything that he just said, I agree with. It was like I entered like a flow state at some point. Because again, you see the 3-hour runtime and you get a little scared. But it's doing it so well and the pacing is so good. And it's doing so many things at once, but it's doing every element to the max. And it's doing it all very well. And I already trust Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah.
But
You're in good hands with him, so you go with him.
But you still have your reservations. 3-hour runtime. Again, like you said, the trailer was kind of confusing. You didn't really know what you were getting into. But I'm not holding it down. I'm giving 5 stars.
Nice.
That's
Yeah, I think we're unanimous then, because I'm going to give it 5 stars as well. Yeah, I think this is the best movie of the year so far. It's close. We've seen some good movies this year. Sinners. We like Splitsville as comedy. I like The Materialists. And Eddington, which I kind of want to talk about in a little bit when we get into spoiler territory, because there are a lot of similarities between these two films. But I think basically just watching this, it's interesting. It's one of those movies that as I'm watching it, because it's a little bit more... First of all, it's Paul Thomas Anderson's most crowd pleaser film I think he's ever made.
Biggest budget, $130 million.
Huge budget, actually. I think the next biggest film he's made was There'll Be Blood or something, was $70 million.
And that was a lot of set pieces and building things.
And, when you compare it to the budget of Eddington or something, which was like $40 million, this is his blockbuster film. If you take it, just looking at the balance sheet. But yeah, I think it feels like an instant classic in the way that it feels like it's timeless or it's always been here. Like while I was watching, I was like, it feels like you're just watching the 30th anniversary of a classic movie. It doesn't even feel
Totally.
new in a way, which is interesting compared to something. We'll get into spoiler talk here because I do want to compare it to Eddington a bit, which is so different in the sense that that's a very fresh, different kind of movie that I feel like when I was watching, I was like, I've never seen anything like this. That's not exactly the case here. This feels more like when I'm watching one of the old masters, like a Spielberg or a Coppola film or something, where I'm just like, yeah, this is one of the greats at the height of his powers. Just incredible dialogue writing, incredible story structure, pacing. Yeah, the filmmaking on display in this film is just what makes it a joy to just go along for the ride with, I think.
Agreed.
Julia, why don't you tell us what One Battle After Another is about?
Okay, especially with this one, why am I getting attacked? And why is this? Okay. It's about, we start off, we're following this revolution group called the French 75. It's where we meet our main players, Perfidia Beverly Hills and Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Pat.
Ghetto Pat.
It's like Ghetto Pat. I'm like, I don't want to say any of their like nicknames. Ghetto Pat. And they are a part of this group. They get together, they end up having a baby, and then the group kind of falls apart because they get caught because Colonel Lockjaw comes in, played by Sean Penn, maybe the most sane we've ever seen Sean Penn in a character. And so
he didn't know he was
in.
acting in this one.
He literally, they just, Paul Thomas Anderson said, I'm just turning the camera on. Dude, the physicality of his character in this was one of my favorite. Like,
I
he's
think,
just tweaking.
Yeah, I think we joke, but I think it's his best performance ever. I think this
His
might
walk?
be Sean Penn's like all-time great
He is
performance.
Lockjaw.
Yeah.
His entire body is completely locked up.
The jaw work, the jaw acting
Yeah.
in it alone.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lockjaw comes in and is kind of breaks up this group and catches a lot of them. And then we cut 15 years in the future. The baby has grown up. Lockjaw has come back for them because they get Perfidia, but they don't get Leo and the girl. And so it's all about them they get separated. The daughter gets taken by some members of the group that are still around. And then Leo has to try to go save her. And then he gets into some stuff with Benicio del Toro's character, which is the sensei.
We'll get to that, yeah. I think that's a good setup, though. I
okay,
think, like
I'm
your description.
sweating.
I'm going to just free you from that for a second. Yeah, I think it's fascinating that a lot of what you described there is the prologue. Like the actual inciting incident is right where you were ending it, which is Chase Infinity's character getting swept away or like taken by the former terrorist group to protect her from Lockjaw and his military group or whatever that's coming to take her. That's the inciting incident, but it doesn't come until we're like 40 minutes, maybe damn near an hour into the film. And I feel like in the hands of another filmmaker, you would try to rush through the exposition or like, this is just our setup. We need to get through this quickly and we'll do it in a way that's exciting or visually compelling. But ultimately, this isn't the story we're worried about telling. But the way PTA does it is, you could see him writing out these characters and getting a feel for everyone, and just everything he does in that prologue feels just as important. It feels like you get two movies for the price of one, basically.
And you know exactly who these characters are once the stuff gets going. Like once the action gets going, you know exactly what their motivations are and their backstories. And
For sure.
yeah.
I want to talk a little bit more about where I think this is different. Actually, I brought up a graphic. Hang on.
Guys, you prep for this.
It's interesting
a lot
that
of
these
prep
two
work.
movies come out in the same year.
It's true.
Because they're both dealing with similar politics of current day, sort of the world we live in right now. And they're both, I think, borrowing very heavily from the visual lexicon of something like No Country for Old Men. It's interesting that the Coen brothers break up, being how monumental they are, and then two great filmmakers swoop in and tell a very similar story, like Coen Brothers-esque. I think I've heard both of these movies be discussed in the context of like, this feels like a Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah.
But there's also some really interesting, distinct differences in the way that like Ari Aster and PTA approach this material. I think Paul Thomas Anderson is so much of a character and story filmmaker. I think throughout his entire career, he's never really made a message movie, or he uses sort of politics or philosophy or whatever ideas he has in his head at any given time. He uses that more as like details to build out the world and flesh out the characters, and it's creating texture for the movie. And I think that's the case with One Battle After Another. Like, you could apply many different readings of it, or how it represents, you know, the world today, or comments on revolution, or fascism, or political violence. Whereas Ari Aster with Eddington, I think, was perhaps trying something more difficult, which I give him credit for, which is he approached it with a message. Like, he approached it with an idea of satirizing what the current political landscape is, and he has something to say with it. And some, not in a definitive way, there are ambiguities there, and he's more asking questions than like definitively, you know, making some sort of declarative point about the ills of society. But yeah, I think that's a fundamental difference in the way that his characters are texturizing the philosophy, whereas PTA's characters are the point, and the philosophy is texturizing the characters, sort of thing.
Did you see Eddington?
I missed Eddington.
Okay, you just got to take our word for it. You just got to take Tannock's word for it.
This is my huge recommendation to go see Eddington. Actually, I think it's really interesting thinking about these two films in conversation with one another. But I think, yeah, the characters is what's the key with One Battle After Another. They are so well realized and so fun to hang out with.
100%, especially Leo's character. And I think what Paul Thomas Anderson does well throughout all his movies is combining an exploration of like the human experience in these relationships with big action, chases, shootouts, cars exploding. And so I think it's always fun to see how he balances those. Again,
it's interesting. I mean, when I think of PTA, I don't think of action sequences. Like, he's done some, you know, he understands the craft of filmmaking so well that you can sort of rest assured that he would be great at action. There was I didn't really have a worry about that necessarily, but looking back through his career, he has suspenseful scenes, he has violent scenes, but it's not quite the same as action like this movie delivers. I'm especially thinking of like the midpoint set piece through the town with the Hispanic Harriet Tubman, Benicio del Toro sequence.
We have a Latino Harriet Tubman situation going on, which he just drops that, and you're like, what do you mean?
And then we see exactly what he means by that, like verbatim. There is a tunnel that he is funneling people in the community through to get them to escape. It's really incredible.
Benicio's character is one of the best parts about this movie, because he's just a grounding, thing.
He's the ultimate sidekick. He is always there when Leo needs him.
Yeah, with a Modelo.
Yeah,
he was there with the Modelo. Exactly. A few small beers.
One of the things I love about that, and I love about that character specifically, is he just helps Bob, no question. Bob brings all of this.
Bob's falling apart.
Bob is falling apart.
Left and right.
He's too stoned to like figure things out. Him and Charlene being there is what causes all of this community to be put in danger, essentially. But Benicio del Toro characters he's not resentful of that. He's there just to help. And he has the most agency in Bob's story, because Bob has no agency in his own. The only thing Bob achieves throughout the entire movie is he does manage to get the manager on the phone by calling it a Greyhawk 12 or whatever it is.
And he does eventually find his daughter by happenstance.
Yes, right.
He has no actual influence on how she's saved or how she makes it out alive.
It's like a reverse nobody or a reverse
Yeah.
Taken or something, where instead of seeming like a normal guy, but he's actually got a bunch of skills. He has a history of being this elite
trained for this.
revolutionary, but he's a complete Joe Schmo, like out of
He
his
can't
depth.
get past the first step.
Yeah.
Knowing what time it is.
8:15. Benicio has that great line, like you were saying. He brings all the stuff to his door, and Bob apologizes for it. But Benicio's like, "We've been, laid siege for 100 years. Like, don't be selfish.
Yeah.
This is everybody's fight. Like, don't
Right.
apologize for this." And you're like, "Wow, like Benicio, you're so right." But that's exactly who you want to be with you during this,
Yeah.
because Bob ruins it.
Even though Bob is, a mess and he's terrible, the one thing that that maintains our endearment to him and like we always side with him is you can see how much he cares about his daughter. I mean, we see that even in the early scenes when he's talking to like the teacher and stuff, or there's many things, but it's the idea that he just keeps going. He keeps trying no matter
Falling off
how
the roof.
terrible he is at it, and no matter how much he keeps failing, he keeps
good.
like pulling himself up and keeps going. It makes him a really, really great character. He's not quite the same as someone. People have compared him a lot to the Dude, again, another Coen Brothers movie, The Big Lebowski, Jeff Bridges' character in that film. But that character is too apathetic to be comparable to Bob. Like, Bob does care about one thing and one thing only, that's his family. Even in the early scenes when he's a revolutionary and stuff, I think you can tell he's only there for the girls. I think like when they're driving away, I'm gonna have to paraphrase the line because there's a lot of inappropriate
I was
dialogue here.
like, I know exactly what line you're talking about, and if you're gonna say it,
But his motivations are not rooted in revolution or anything. He is, he's not a politically minded person. He's
just good at
much
his
more
job.
simple.
literally,
Yeah,
he's just good at blowing stuff up,
right.
doing fireworks.
Yeah, I think that's the brilliance of PTA is these characters being so well defined. Like they're already iconic.
And we even haven't talked about the Christmas Adventurers Club. We haven't
Hail
even
Saint
talked
Nick.
about Hail Saint Nick.
Well, we're talking a lot about heroes that we love, but this film has villains that you love to hate as well.
100%. Sean Penn is that perfect, just
Yeah.
crazy. He's insane. His walk,
Yes.
the way
Yeah.
he speaks about things but then you see him like pull it together for the Christmas Adventurers Club like meetings and
Yeah.
stuff, and you're like, oh my God, like what are you?
It's a
as
nice
king?
terrifying.
It's a nice touch. He wears a blazer and khakis, but he wears the same blazer and khakis and tie combo every time he has to dress. You can tell it's such a like small character detail, but that's the only like smart non-military like outfit
Garment
that he
he has,
that
yep.
owns.
He's
Because he wears
just-
it at different points. I think even pre and post time skip, he's still wearing the same outfit like 20 years later.
Yeah.
That's a routine.
It's so great. Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
The Christmas Adventurers Club is again very Coen Brothers esque. It's this underground or sort of hidden society, sort of like an Illuminati or take your pick, but they are truly just there as white supremacists, essentially. That is their entire motivation.
Yep.
And Lockjaw wants, he's applying for membership. He's getting like an opportunity to join their ranks, and it's a huge honor for him. But he has to hide his past of, his previous romantic relationship with Tiana Taylor's character,
So good.
who we also haven't talked
She was
much
so
about because she is only in that prologue section, and then she's gone for the rest of the film. But her presence sort of hangs over the rest of the film. Absolutely.
It's a very powerful performance.
Oh,
Yeah, it's interesting. I see people sort of saying how awesome and badass and how cool she is, but I also think she is, to a lesser extent, if Sean Penn is a capital V villain, she is a lowercase v villain in this film. I mean, she crosses the line from revolutionary, I think, to terrorist when she kills that bank security guard. And they say it in the film, she's the rat. She's the one who sells out the entire revolution for her own self-interest, and then escapes to wherever, South America or wherever she ends up going. We never find out definitively, but Yeah, I think it's an interesting, complex performance in that regard, or a complex character, because we understand why she can't, just be part of the family the way Leonardo DiCaprio's character wants her to be, and keeps inviting her in to, we're a family now. Like, we need to let the revolution go, or let the other, let that continue without us, sort of thing. And there's like some postpartum, I think depression, is that what it's called? There's like an allusion to that where we get like a little bit of a monologue about her feelings of jealousy for her daughter getting attention from Leonardo DiCaprio's character and things. Yeah, it's really a multi-layered character, to be sure.
Yeah, I don't think she's a villain at all. I think she's a woman that's misunderstood. No lowercase villain, not a villain at all. She's just a woman that's misunderstood.
I think that's the key, though. I think it depends on if you're defining her by her actions or by the feeling of the person we get for her throughout the film. Because I think you're absolutely right. Like, the film is totally empathetic to her attitude and things. I'm just looking at it from what her effect is on the film and what her effect on the revolution is, and in that regard, she's she only contributes bad things. There's a reason that when Chase Infinity's character gets to the nunnery or the sisterhood, they talk about the fact that she's trouble because even though she doesn't look like her on the inside, they can feel she's like her mother.
Gosh, she's just a girl. Y'all don't understand that she's literally just a girl. Was there anything that you guys didn't like about it, or things that you think could have been done better, even if it's just because it sounds like you guys are both in love?
Yeah.
With this creation.
I mean, I'm gonna see it 3 or 4 times in theaters, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Come back.
The score is incredible.
Yes, Johnny Greenwood is back.
You mentioned Tannock. You mentioned PTA, not really associated with action sequences. Most of his movies are usually men in rooms talking.
Yeah.
The camera doesn't really move a lot.
Yeah.
In this, the camera's moving constantly. Everybody's running. There's not a lot of great, just set perfect shots. Though there's one scene when they're running up on the roof with the skateboarders. It looks like West Side Story. They're all like dancing in beautiful unison, and then Leo is like limping behind them.
It's
and
excellent,
they jump over and he has to climb down the ladder.
They're like parkour experts or something.
And he's like, I'll be right there. Leading to probably the most beautiful shot in the movie of Leo falling 40 feet.
That is an incredible stunt.
I don't know how they
like that is one of the best stunts. I think that's practical. I think they had a stunt guy drop 4 stories to
And
the
then
ground.
get tased.
He
And
hits
then
a
arrested.
tree,
And then
which
arrested
slows him
promptly.
down. But there is some incredible stunt work in this movie as well.
And then the phone call, your guy fell off the roof and got arrested. Am I rightful? I got it. He's like, meet me. And I mean, he takes it in stride, but he shows character just takes it in stride. Your guy fell off the roof. And that whole scene again, another thing I like about this movie is that none of this would have been possible without the community members coming in and helping, or people outside of the main characters helping them get through, like the assassin that changes his mind to help
Also,
Willa.
very No Country for Old Men. I keep bringing that up,
100%.
but that feels like their version of the white supremacist version of Javier Bardem's character. Yeah.
And the people that Benicio has planted in the hospital and the jail to help, Bob get through.
Yeah.
But his whole arrest scene. What's your last name? Batman. He's just
Parker, Peter Parker. When were you born? In the 80s.
Sometime in the 80s.
your favorite of I've abused drugs and alcohol,
Yeah.
drugs and weed for years and years. I'm a drug and alcohol lover. It's just him trying to explain.
That's what you guys are highlighting there is that special dialogue, the rhythm of I think if Leo wins an Oscar, whoever was on the phone with him in those scenes needs best supporting actor, because it's the repartee between them as they're sort of he's just getting progressively more upset, and the guy's talking about I don't feel comfortable right now, or
You're threatening me, and
this
he's
is a noise. What is
we're
it?
talking over
Noise
the phone.
trigger.
A
This is
noise trigger. Yeah.
He's like, we're talking over the phone
Comrade
like men.
Josh. Yeah.
Comrade Josh.
Some of
Change
Leo's
your name,
best phone
Comrade Josh.
acting, or we're seeing it right now. He's
Yeah.
on a payphone. He's on a cell phone, a 1G phone.
Yeah.
Can't be traced.
Leo trying to plug in his phone is some of the best comedic acting I've seen out of him.
Yeah. Yeah. This is one of his best performances. This is, some of the funniest stuff since like Wolf of Wall Street. Like
Life!
Yeah.
Life!
Sorry, Viva la Revolution.
Yeah.
Him, Leo's just so good. I just love Leonardo DiCaprio, and he does a really good job. But it's like on top of everything that this movie is and how important it is, it's also just like a stoner comedy. Like it's also partially a stoner comedy, which is beautiful. Oh, and those shots on the...
Well, yeah, we haven't even got into the climax, the action climax of... I think this was the first thing, I read somewhere that this was the first thing, 20 years ago when PDA started writing this story, the first thing he got down was just the scene, the chase scene. There's this incredible chase scene where there's no turns, there's no obstacles that anyone's going around. It is just people driving really, really fast in a straight line, but these beautiful like sweeping hills,
ocean waves
in California, ocean waves,
waves, baby, ocean waves.
And it's the way it's shot as well. It's like how close they get the camera to the ground as it's going up and down.
It's some combination of drones and mounted cameras that I imagine in IMAX, if you sit as close to the front as possible.
Yeah. Which Brian's going to do this weekend.
It's going to be crazy.
I saw it on IMAX. It was an experience for sure. Important to mention, this is shot on VistaVision, which the only other film in recent memory was The Brutalist from last year, was shot on VistaVision, which is there are extra challenges if you want to strap a camera to a car if you're operating with film that is like this big. Like 70 millimeter VistaVision film is, it's really, really cool.
There's only a handful of those cameras out there. They can all be tracked and traced to, the 10 Commandments and Alfred Hitchcock movies.
Yeah.
And there's only, 4 screens in the whole country that can show VistaVision on film.
Yeah. We got to go find one.
And we're going to do that.
If you can't settle for IMAX, it was still pretty good. Yeah. But and so he started with that incredible sequence. Like that was the first thing in his head for like, I'm going to make this. And I think he built the story out around the Thomas Pynchon. I've heard it pronounced both ways. His novel Vineland from the 90s, who he previously adapted for Inherent Vice, which, being a postmodern writer like Pynchon, like if you watch Inherent Vice, it's tough to follow. It's like nonsensical. There's all kinds of crazy stuff, and that's sort of a good simulation of what it's like to read one of those novels. But here he is, like we said, this is his most crowd-pleasing film. Like he has taken the fundamental bones of that sort of postmodern writing style and made it into something like palatable and crowd-pleasing. That's in itself a triumph, I think.
And it's good to see PTA working in modern times.
It's true.
Yeah.
First contemporary movie he's made since Punch Drunk
Magnolia?
Love.
Oh yeah, Punch Drunk Love. That's right.
So he's usually focused on making sure everything is historically accurate.
Yeah.
And this he's just kind of letting loose.
Yeah. Yeah, and usually he's doing those on a budget, like like $40 million or something to shoot Licorice Pizza and make as much of California look like it's from the 70s. Here he's got triple that budget, and he's making another masterpiece in its own way.
PTA is only in like his 50s. We have decades more of PTA movies I'm so excited about.
Yeah, and unlike his other California filmmaking contemporary Tarantino, who's like, I'm cutting it at 10. It's interesting. They both got to start around the same time, and they've had a similar amount of output where, and I think similarly, neither of them have had a miss in their entire career. And yeah, unfortunately, we're going to lose Tarantino after one more film, but
I don't buy it.
I was about to say,
I don't think he can put it down.
I think he will.
Or he'll write novels.
He will.
Maybe he'll do TV.
He'll still do. Yeah, he's already planning to make a TV show or something, I think. And actually, David Finch is making a sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, written by Tarantino.
Yeah.
With following Cliff Booth.
Yeah.
I think
It's crazy.
I'm excited for that. I think Tarantino's going to keep finding loopholes. Like he's going to be like, well, Kill Bill actually counts as a half a movie if you think about it, so I can make a couple more.
Yeah.
Kill Bill 3 and 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd watch.
True.
I would.
Yeah, anything else? I mean, you saw it a couple of times. Was there anything that you thought was weaker about it on your second watch, or like any cracks starting to show?
No, again, it's like I didn't experience this in linear time. Like I wasn't even focused on runtime or like this happened at 40 minutes, this happened at, it was just all one being to me. And I didn't feel like it doesn't lag at all. You literally, once you get into the groove, you're just going, and there's no breaks.
Yeah.
It felt to me. Like
I
I
think that's
didn't
spot on.
feel like I dropped out of it.
Well, that's it then. One battle after another. A resounding 5-star review from all three of us. A must watch.
Brian gave it
Please go
4.5.
see it.
For now.
Yeah.
I like that you're
I'm
leaving
rounding
that
it
half
up. Technically, we don't let ourselves have half stars because I can't.
in the web article.
Because of the graphic.
Because it's
a
there's
WordPress
half-star
thing?
Yeah, it's a
graphic.
WordPress thing, which has become a
All right,
nightmare.
in the web article, it will be a 5.
5 stars.
So, okay, there we go.
5
We
stars.
broke them down. That's what we
Official.
do here in Real Talk. We try to break them down.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us, Brian.
Thanks
It's
for
been a
having
pleasure
me.
to have you
I'm
as
so
a
happy
guest.
to be here.
It was so fun to just basically rave about this movie for 30 minutes straight.
What's better than that?
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time on 8 News Real Talk.